Hi, this is Ann with a Seed in God's Garden 9th week update. I have a book giveaway. I finished reading Spirit-Led Eating, and it was very helpful for me, and I would like to pass that along to somebody else. So if you just make a comment, say I want the book in the comment section. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, I will take all the names and put them in a hat or something and draw one out and send you the book. I'll message you for your address to send it. This book has been very helpful for me, and I think it would be a blessing to someone else. I'd like to see, you read it and pass it along to somebody else when you're finished reading it. Put a little note of encouragement in it and just pass it along. I'll write a little note to you when I send it. But some of the things that he taught in this book that I found very helpful is that he made resolutions that he would seek God every day for God's will in his life and to learn to put food in its rightful place. Food is given in the Bible for several reasons. Well, first and foremost, obviously, is the nourishment of our bodies, so that we can function. Secondly, for celebration. He did give us food as a means of celebration to share our joy with others. He gave us food as comfort, believe it or not. There are several instances in the Bible where food is shown to be used to comfort people. But there again, that has to be put in its proper perspective. Us that deal with emotional eating can't use that as an excuse to comfort ourselves with food every day. Or we can't use the excuse of, oh, we're celebrating this, to use food in an improper manner. Let's see, what else was it? I will not complain about the food God provides for me. That's one that really got to me. I did a lot of thinking on that one. How many times have we bought something, brought it home, cooked it, fixed it, didn't like it, ick, and threw it in the trash? Can't do that. I can't do that anymore. I have to be very vigilant because my husband and I both are guilty of doing that. If we don't like it, in the trash it goes, and that is just so dishonoring to to those, first and foremost, to the God that provided it for us, and second, it's dishonoring to those that don't have. If we're not sure about something, sometimes it's better to err on the side of caution and not fool with it to keep from wasting it. If we're going to throw it in the trash, eat it anyway. That's going to be my motto. If it's not something I particularly care for, particularly like, I'm gonna eat it anyway because that's God provided it, and better that than to throw it away and waste it. So that was one that really kind of convicted me in my heart. One thing I didn't agree with him is about weighing and measuring. Sometimes we need to be accountable to ourselves, that we're staying on track, and we need those measurements to stay on track. I thought long about that one and prayed about that one, and yeah, I need the scale just to make sure I'm staying on track, because we can deceive ourselves so easily into thinking, oh, well, this little bit of something won't hurt, and this little bit of something won't hurt, and I can be thankful to God for that. We can really deceive ourselves in what we allow. So in that one area, I did disagree with him about that. He doesn't weigh or measure, which, I'm thankful that he's able to do that. But right now, I'm just not at that point. And maybe after you read this book, maybe you can do that. But I know that I can't. So anyway, my weigh-in. Speaking about that, we'll talk about my weigh-in. I weighed in at 314.4. When I started, I was 340. That's a 26.6 pound loss in 9 weeks. And this is on a high raw foods diet. I eat about 70% of my diet is raw foods, raw fruits and vegetables. Only about 10% meat. I only eat 2 to 4 ounces of meat, maybe 3 times a week. And I haven't been eating any red meat or pork at all. Once in a while I have some chicken, but mostly it's been fish, which I'll have to say I do enjoy. And then the other part is whole grains, like whole grain brown rices, black rice. I love black rice. Found that at Whole Foods here recently. It's just little tiny, it's a little small rice, but they call it forbidden rice. And we cooked some of that here last week and thoroughly enjoyed it. Put in some white beans with it. It was very pretty. And tomatoes, and the taste is just awesome. So find you some, forbidden rice. So the other part of my diet is cooked food, like whole grains and beans, stuff like lentils and dried lima beans and pinto beans, black beans, those kind of things. So I do have some cooked food in there, bean soups and stuff like that. So that's pretty much my diet. I tell you, I tested the sweets thing twice in 2 days. Yesterday we were in Dover and we found an African market and a Caribbean market and decided to stop. At the African market, I got a very unusual kind of flour. It's called fufu flour, and it's made out of plantain, some kind of potato starch and something else. And what they do is they take this flour and they mix it with water and it turns into a lump and you knead it, and it's kind of like a dumpling. And that's what I had last night for supper. I fixed that. One serving was a big, handful size piece. And it was 200 and some odd calories. And I said, I really don't want that much carbohydrates. So I cut it into a quarter and I put the other 3/4 in a bag and stuck it in the fridge. And I had a quarter serving of that kind of chopped up in with some lentil soup. And I have to tell you, it doesn't have a whole lot of taste, but it does give you some vital nutrients that your body needs. The carbohydrates for fuel, and it has some good potassium in it and all that. It's made out of that banana-like thing, the unsweet banana, the plantain. That's what it mostly is. And while it didn't have a whole lot of taste, it was very filling, and it blended well, with the soup that I was eating it with. So that's something you might want to try. It claims to be a low glycemic index food, and I looked it up online after I brought it home, and it really is. I mean, it's like it's along the lines like of Jerusalem artichoke and stuff like that helps your body use its own insulin because of whatever chemical compounds are in these foods. And I found then we went to the Caribbean market, and here's where Bob and I will probably shop a lot when they start getting produce in, because we got these oranges for 20 cents a piece. You can't do that in the grocery store here. I mean, and they smell wonderful. So that was an interesting find. And then we got a couple other things to try. This is they just call this a yam, and this is just a small piece of one. They had these over in the African market that I swanny was big as a watermelon, and I just didn't want to buy, a whole big one just to try to see if I would like it, because these are supposedly low glycemic index as well. So this is a yam that I found, they cut off a piece, and I got this to try, so I'll let y'all know about that next week. And another kind of root vegetable they call a cocoa, that also supposedly has a low glycemic index. So I'll let you know about that. This one's a little, it's softer. It doesn't have a smell to it. So I'm kind of interested as to what it tastes like. She said it's very good. She said I probably like it. So, but of course, anyway, and then I got some ginger tea and some dried sorrel. My grandmother used to pick sorrel all the time to cook, and we used to eat, with other field greens like lamb's quarter and what was that other green? Poke salad and stuff like that. She'd go out and pick all these greens and put them in a pot and boil them, and we'd eat those greens. I like sorrel. So this was a package of dried sorrel, and it has a recipe on the side, to rehydrate it and, eat it like a soup. So I'm kind of to see if it tasted like what Grandma used to do. So that was fun and interesting. We started a new week of classes Monday. I'm still in Spanish, and then I took on my other 2 classes are over with, and then I started apologetics, which is going to be a real interesting class. I'm looking forward to that. I've already done a lot of reading, the required reading and stuff, and get ready to take the test. So that's going to be real interesting. I'm excited about that class. Not much else going on, just school and just life. I have not been able to get my aquaponics system set up yet. About the time I got all the stuff and ready to do it, and my back started acting up again, and I don't have my help. He is at my mother's right now. She's been very ill, and so he volunteered to go up there and help her, so that's where he is. And I may not be able to to get it done until he gets back. We'll see. Maybe the Lord will bless me with a little more strength, and just ease this back up enough to where I can get some of this stuff done. I did get my bathing suit in, and I'll be starting the aquafit classes here next month. So that should be a lot of fun, and I'll update y'all on that. But in the meantime, I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables, and praise God for everything in your life, because He knows what's best for you. See you later.